Hey everybody, what's going on? John Eric Poli here once again with my MMA news, and today's guest just picked up a big win over the weekend at UFC Vegas 29. I'm speaking to Josh Parisian, who picked up a win over Roque Martinez. That fight was epic, back and forth, and Josh got the victory by a split decision in what was an excellent fight. So let's bring Josh in here. Welcome to the program, Josh. How you doing, and how are you feeling just a few days removed from the fight?
I feel good. I'm sore, but like when you're sore after a win, it's definitely not as bad. If you lose and you're sore, then it's a lot worse. But yeah, my foot, something's going on in my foot. When I threw that snap kick, it split him under the chin, like deep, but it also messed my foot up. So I'm waiting for the inflammation to go away and then see if it's still messed up, and then I'll go get it checked out. My nose is broke right here. And he was saying something about having to chisel something in here, but I had to do another CT scan for that. I think the worst part is like I can't open my mouth all the way right now. So when I go to eat, it's like that's all I can get right there. You know what I mean? I had a burger earlier, and I had to take off like the lettuce and the tomato and stuff like that and really smash it down.
Yeah, and we see the battle scars there, of course, from the back and forth fight that you guys had. As I said several times now, amazing fight. Were you surprised? Because I kind of was that there wasn't a fight of the night bonus there, because you guys were really swinging for the fences there. You laid it all out in the line for the 15 minutes. Were you shocked that you guys weren't awarded the fight of the night bonus?
Uh, I was really hoping, but then when I went back and looked at the fight, he had me pressed against the cage a little bit. I pressed him against the cage a little bit, and that stuff's not exciting, especially to a casual fan. But I was hoping that the rest of the fights are boring and I was going to get it, but I guess the Cheeto Vera fight and that other guy was a good fight, so foiled again.
All right, well, now let's start breaking down this excellent fight, and we'll start with the beginning here in the opening round. That was a really good round for Roque. He really applied the pressure on you, really stepping forward. He landed a lot of big shots, one of which cut you open. Were you ever hurt at all in that opening round because of how relentless he was on you there? Did he ever hit you with anything that had you worried or anything like that?
The first round, I wasn't hurt at all. He actually hit me in the third round pretty hard, and it almost gave me a flash knockout, actually. But right after he hit me, he went right into the clinch, so he didn't get to take advantage of it. But as far as the first round, I didn't anticipate him. I anticipated him trying to get into the pocket, but I didn't think that he was going to press me against the cage. That was kind of a shock. And then the fight that I had before, I had a huge adrenaline dump, and my cardio was good for the fight, but I just didn't feel right, and I was just so tired during it. I was really afraid of that happening again, despite me working really hard this camp and to have good cardio. So I think that I just didn't want to push on the pedal too hard in the beginning, and then he came out very hard. I could tell he was expending a lot of energy right off the rip. So I was like, well, maybe I'll coast this out a little bit, and maybe he'll start going down, and then I can start climbing up. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Because in between the first and second round, I realized I wasn't breathing hard, and I knew that I could go a little bit harder.
And now we'll move along to the second round here of the fight, which was a amazing round for you. You controlled the whole entire thing just about. What was the adjustment that you made in between that first and second round? Was it like a matter of him starting to fade from the amount of pressure he put on you in the first round, or was it something strategically that you guys came up with in the corner? What kind of took place in between rounds that helped you to flip the momentum into your favor?
Honestly, I was just so in my own head thinking about things that I don't even remember what my corner said. You know what I mean? That's really strange, but I just remember him being like, "Hey, you gotta start moving. You gotta move." And my legs still felt like my legs felt similar a little bit to the first fight, where they felt kind of heavy, like they were gorged with blood. So I was like, I want to move. We train to move, but I don't want my legs to get tired. But I just started moving, and then even though they felt that way, they were fine. You know what I mean? I had lots of conditioning. It might have just been nerves and stuff, or or whatever. But the moving helped quite a bit.
So, like I said, you did control that for most of the second round. There was a brief little period in the final seconds of the round where he did lock in a choke, and it seemed like he had you in danger. Like, were you in danger at all? I know ultimately you were able to escape. Was there ever a point where you were worried when he locked that choke in?
I wasn't super nervous about it. I mean, obviously, I felt his forearm across my throat, and he was trying to pull on it tight, but I didn't feel his legs over my legs, so he didn't have the body control to finish it. So I just kind of ran my legs around. And after the fight, my coach said, he's like, you should have just stayed there and tried to keep top control. Maybe that was the answer, but I was just like, let me get out of this real quick. Let me bail on this while he doesn't have control of my body.
And now, as we know from this breakdown, of course, he had a great opening round. You had a great second round. Now we come to the third round. It was an absolute dogfight, back and forth. Why don't you just break it down through your eyes as to how the round went? And when the final horn sounded, were you confident that you had a victory?
After the fight, I wasn't. Okay, so, yeah, the round, I started to feel tired, but I just kept moving, sticking my jab, and try to be in the mentality of, like, every situation instead of looking at the whole fight, like, okay, he has me on the wall, I have to win this situation. You know, we're in the open, I got to win this situation. So trying to compile all those little victories and hopefully win the fight. After the fight, I wasn't sure about if I won or not, just because I felt like he had me pressed against the wall, and I just didn't realize that I had him pressed against the wall only 1 second less than he did overall, I think I heard. And he also threw more punches than me, but he was throwing them to my thigh. He was, like, throwing these over the head and stuff like that. He had way more landed shots than I did. So I wasn't sure, but I was very grateful that they put more weight on the significant strikes landed than they did overall. When I went back and watched the fight, I felt like I won the second and third round decisively, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, now there you go. You had it. You have the win. 14-4 now is your professional record. A nice UFC record you have going on now as well. I do want to now direct you, with all of that being said, to your Twitter account, in which you said the two most important people to impress in the world are UFC matchmaker Mick Maynard and Jesus Christ. And you said in that order. Well, we know after seeing that hard-fought win, Jesus Christ is definitely happy with you. That's a given, because that was an absolute war and a dogfight. How about Mick Maynard, though? Is he happy with you? Did he like your performance? Have you guys gotten to talk? And if you did, what did he have to say?
I didn't talk to Mick about it. I posted that and he laughed about it, which was funny. I was hoping he was going to laugh about it. And obviously, I'm just joking around. I'm not even really a religious person, but it was just funny because, like, it's really, out of everybody, it's important that Mick thinks I'm doing good, because he controls a lot. How much money I make, me being in the UFC, you know what I mean? Like, my entire career that I've worked so hard for is, like, in his hands. So I'm like, I need to go out there and make sure that he's happy.
And while we brought Mick Maynard's name up, what is next for you? What do you want to do in the rest of 2021 here?
My plan before this is I was like, I want to fight immediately, but I had the broken nose. They're talking about surgery, and then my foot. So I need to get my CT scan, see all that stuff, get that figured out, and I want to fight as soon as I can. You know what I mean? I want to heal up. I want to get whatever has to get taken care of, and then get back in there. At least one more time for the end of the year would be nice.
All right, Josh, one more thing before you're all out here today that I wanted to ask you about, because I found it very interesting. I saw it on your Instagram. State representative out in Michigan, in the state that you're living in now and training out of, he recommended, I believe he brought a bill to the state's attention, where he thinks it's a good idea for the police officers in Michigan to have a blue belt, I believe it was, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just want to get your thoughts on that. I know you're probably a fan of that. Do you think that's a good thing for our law enforcement, not only in Michigan, but really something maybe all around the country to look into, so they have different ways of defending themselves?
Yeah, 100%. Even if it's not a blue belt, just regular training that they have to do with unarmed combat, especially jiu-jitsu, I think that's huge. I've always thought that teachers and police officers should be a very sought after job. I think that should be the most competitive job to get into. I think they should be paid very well. The people that are teaching us, the people that are protecting us. I think that there's not enough training, not enough retraining for police officers right now. I would love to see that. I think the jiu-jitsu thing is huge. Make them work for it, pay them for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Make it such a competitive job that only the best people are going to be police officers because it's so competitive. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You don't have to hire anybody. You can hire the best because there's so many people working hard for it.
All right, Josh, we appreciate all the time that you gave us here today. We covered a lot with the fight, a couple of things outside of the cage as well. Before you roll out, though, social media, management, sponsors, anything like that you need to plug, please feel free to do so. The floor is yours.
All right, appreciate it, man. Yeah, obviously, shout out to Daniel Rubenstein. He's kind of an asshole, but he does a really good job, and I appreciate him for everything that he does. Sponsors, Slate Chocolate Milk, and law offices of Timothy McDonald, just a local lawyer here that does criminal law, does a great job. And then my Twitter that I don't get on very much, but I should do more, is just Josh Parisian. And my Instagram is Parisian MMA.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Josh Parisian. Again, big winner over the weekend at UFC Vegas 29. Thanks again, Josh, for all the time. And thank you guys for all the time that you've been sharing here at my YouTube channel. I always appreciate you guys watching these interviews. Just to remind you guys before I roll out, like I do in every single one of my interviews, please, if you haven't done so yet, go to the bottom and hit the subscribe button. This way you'll be able to get notified whenever I have an interview that comes out, and you'll be able to see it in a timely fashion. And I appreciate everyone that does subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, just a reminder, keep going to MyMMANews. We have great content that comes out there every single day of the week. Also, go to our social media accounts. Give us a like and a follow there as well. We'll see you later, everybody.